Goeiedag en welkom by nog 'n episode van Kwarantynwyn in die tuin saam met Elaine. So for today the wine we will be having is the beautiful Silverthorn Genie. Now the Genie is a rosé. It's a rosé non-vintage MCC, and it's made by John Loubser. And when I met John around about 2006, 2007, he was the winemaker of Steenberg Wine Estate in Constantia, which also produces some really good wines and some sparkling wines, or MCCs as well. Today he is based on the Silverthorn farm in Robertson and focuses exclusively on MCC. And for those of you who don't know where Robertson is, it is about 2 hours from Cape Town, in between the valley of the Langeberg Mountains and the Riffies on the End Mountains.
Okay, tell me now, what is the difference between Champagne and MCC?
Now, there's not much difference between the two. MCC, or Method Cup Classique, as it's known in its full term, is our version of Champagne, basically adhering to the same rules of Method Champenoise. Now, there's about 2 rules you have to, basic rules, if you want to bring it down to easy terms, what you have to adhere to for making MCC. First of all, the wine needs to undergo a second fermentation in the bottle. So you can't just make the wine and then soda stream it, add gas. That's just a plain sparkling wine. So in order to be classified as MCC, you need to have a second fermentation in the bottle. And also the wine needs to spend a minimum of 9 months on the lees.
Now, what is lees?
Now, lees is, during second fermentation, it's basically the sediment that falls at the bottom of the bottle, which is the dead yeast cells, which happens during the second fermentation. Now, this wine is 100% Shiraz. It gets firstly fermented in stainless steel to create a wine, a base wine. And then it gets put in bottle, and they usually add a touch of sugar and a touch of yeast again to the bottle, and then close this bottle up with a cap similar to that of a beer bottle, a crown cap.
So that's the second fermentation.
So, well, that's when second fermentation is about to start.
Yeah.
So the second fermentation now under the crown cap will start, and the yeast will eat the sugar. It'll create more alcohol. It'll also create CO2, which now, of course, is trapped in the bottle, and then the bubbles gets captured inside the wine, giving us the second fermentation. And then the yeast cells will fall to the bottom of the bottle. The yeast cells, of course, gets taken out through another process, and then the cork gets put onto the wine, and then we get MCC, but not after it spent 9 months on the lees. So we mentioned that this is, well, for this one, it didn't spend 9 months lease. It actually spent 15 months on the lease, before I lie, because 9 months is the minimum. And I also find that sometimes the longer it spends on the lees, it's almost tend to give you a little bit more richness in the wine, and maybe sometimes a bit more elegance. But if somebody
more complexity,
definitely some complexity as well on the wine. Sure. Well, this is our first MCC that we're tasting. I must say I haven't had any sparkling wine in any shape or form for quite some time. We've been very Chardonnay heavy.
Yes. We haven't had any bubbles, eh?
Yeah, and most of the time when champagne style wines are made, or MCC in South Africa, producers tend to stick to the how can we say, the champagne grapes: Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Meunier, the 3 grapes like that. Yeah. Silverthorn goes a bit outside the box, maybe colors in outside the lines, used 100% Shiraz for this wine, which is not as common.
It's a beautiful color, eh?
Beautiful color. It's nice and light. It's luckily not that neon pink. It has a little bit more of a slightly darker onion skin color on that. The nose itself is also quite aromatic. It's a bit more rose,
like Turkish delight as well.
Some raspberries. See, this is the beauty of beautifully made sparkling wine. Wow, that is some fantastic fresh raspberries. There's some sherbet, and the mousse is velvety smooth.
Okay, now the mousse is the feel of the wine as you drink it, right? The feel of the bubbles as you taste the wine. As
it enters the mouth and it slowly dissipates. We should really be drinking a lot more of this.
Oh, yeah.
This is fantastic.
This is like perfect Elaine bubbles, yeah?
Elegant. It's not that harsh bubbly you would find in a can of cool drink.
Yes, yeah.
It is
very, very
much,
delicate.
much finer. And
Yeah.
such a long finish. The beautiful freshness, the fruit and the acidity just lingers in this wine. And we're busy talking now, and the flavor doesn't go away. It
Yeah.
just stays there.
Yeah.
So, clearly we have to thank John Loubser.
Yes.
Thank you for a beautiful bottle of bubbly. Elaine will show us the label, hopefully a bit closer, if we
Yes.
can see something
And I hope
of it.
I'm showing a nice angle.
Silverthorn the Genie. It's a non-vintage, which means it's a blend of vintages. So the base wine might have been made from a year or two before. What happens with non-vintage, you tend to have a more consistent quality from year to year. You don't have that much vintage variation. So non-vintage doesn't mean lesser quality. So don't be fooled
Yes.
by that. And Cup Classique, man, honestly, it is champagne at a fraction of the price, if you can put it that. So during lockdown, stay safe. If you still have some wine,
Let's hope
enjoy
for
them.
stage 3, guys. Stage 3.
May we have some stage 3 soon so we can stock up the cellars. Enjoy and stay safe.
Cheers.
Cheers.